intensify your life force and break free from the limitations of your mortal mind. Your body, made up of the 5 elements, earth, wind, water, fire, ether, plus the false ego and intelligence, make up your earthly or animal body. At the bottom of your body, your energy sits. In the yogic tradition, it is compared to a snake that's curled up, that must be unleashed and travel up your spine. Only when this snake or kundalini energy, this spirit, is released from the lower parts of your body, is your energy allowed to flourish and to start to move upwards in the body, bringing your energy or vibration or consciousness to higher levels within your own body. Eventually, this curled up energy that sits at the bottom of your spine will reach the crown of your head. When it reaches the crown of your head, you will realize your ultimate potential, who you are, peace and power like you've never experienced, and ultimately your direct connection to God. In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can release your energy from the bottom of your spine so that it flows upwards in your body. I'm going to pull from different traditions who all have explained this truth and share with you a little bit of my own experience walking this path. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Nakula and I help men master their S3X energy so they can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom and unleash their masculine leadership. Now, why does your energy sit at the bottom of your spine? Because this is governed by your physical nature or the lower nature of the universe, which is the material nature. Ultimately, in the Bible, it says we fall from grace. Well, where did we fall from? And how did we fall? And is it a physical fall? It's a fall in consciousness. Falling from grace, as the Bible says, means we fell. We left the Garden of Eden. We left heaven. We left God. We left all the wonderful association and life that we had there because we wanted to exploit the material nature. Our consciousness forgot essentially who we are or became lusty, and we dove down or fell from grace. This is considered your energy going from the higher centers down to the lower centers, where your carnal desires have captured your consciousness so that you can exploit the material nature. And the unfortunate thing is, the more you feed your carnal desires, which what this world is all about. Look at all the music and the marketing, and the whole world is telling you, feed those carnal desires, feed those carnal desires. And the more that you buy into that, the more your consciousness becomes trapped by these desires, which is lowering your very energy and life force, making you operate at the lowest level of nature, which is the physical nature or your animalistic nature. You live only for the pleasure and survival of the body, and your physical body. When you live like this, it's easy to see that you are full of misery, depression, anxiety, worry, untruthful behavior, and social disconnection. Just look at the world today. How many people are lonely? How many people have no connection? How many people are just indulging in so many vices? I know, because I've lived this life just like you. This is the world we're born into, the matrix we're born into. And unfortunately, our so-called leaders of today continuously feed into it because they are also in their lower nature. So their only consciousness is, how do I exploit the people that I'm supposed to be serving and leading? We can see that in our modern politics, our CEOs. So many people that are sitting in powerful positions are actually no more than reptiles. Now, I'm not saying they're actually reptiles like, what's his name there, David Icke. I'm saying they're in their reptilian brain. They're in their animal consciousness. And that's why they're exploiting me and you. And there's so much disturbance in the world. People are simply chasing after sense pleasure or false egoistic pleasure, puffing themselves, thinking themselves to be something more than they're not, but not realizing that they are more than what they realize, but in a false way. Status, power, fame, All of these things, people are literally selling their souls to become this because they think that's what's going to bring them joy, happiness. But it only leads to more disconnection and misery. Jesus said, look at them gnawing and gnashing. Look at the behavior of the people today, gnawing and gnashing. Look at the people on social media. You know, I get tons of hate on social media, people making fun of me, people calling me names. This is happening all the time. People are being murdered, people are being killed, people are being sold drugs, people are drowning themselves in alcohol. Look at them gnawing and gnashing, no more than animals, worse than animals. Why? Because at least the animals live in harmony with nature. They do their duty. Are you doing yours? You see, we can look at the people and we can see where we're at, but more importantly than looking outward at the people and judging them, now it's time to look inward. Bring all that attention inward and look at your own behavior. Look at your own character. Look at your own virtues and values. I bet you can see, like I had to see in my own life, oh shit, I'm just like them. All the people that's why I got out of politics, because everything I was saying about the other side, we are on our side. There is no sides. Life is just happening. We're all connected. But I recognize that with politics, people take this moral superiority and my ideas are better than yours and they're doing this. But truthfully, most of them, 99.9% of them are cowards who wouldn't say anything to you in person. It's despicable. And no one wants to call it out because it's not palatable. Truth has been mistaken to be what is palatable, but truth is truth. And Jesus said, truth will set you free. How much of your life is being wasted because you have developed ungodly characteristics and traits and have allowed your lower animal nature to dictate your life? Are you living simply for the pleasure and survival of the body? The body has 4 functions: eating, sleeping, S3X or mating, and comfort or defending. Look at people. I need a better bed. I need a better pillow. I need a better couch. I need a bigger TV. You're just going from one level of comfort, trying to get happiness through another level of comfort. But by doing that, you're actually lowering your consciousness. That's why some of the Stoics, they used to sleep on the floor simply to challenge their own body and mind. I will not fall into that lower nature. How much of your consciousness, your thought process, your activities is simply like a dog or an animal looking for your next meal, looking for your next place to sleep, and looking for the next piece of ass to chase. And of course, the world is just telling you this is what's going to bring you happiness because it brings you short-term happiness and a little bit of pleasure, but it's really there to disguise your loneliness, your misery, and your despicable behavior. All scriptures of the world point to this one absolute truth. Now, is eating bad? No, it's not bad. Is having S3X bad? No, it's not bad. Is having comfort bad? No, it's not bad. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is these things are actually easily attainable. You know, men boast around, how many women have they slept with? Like it's something to conquer. Well, guess what? The dog is beating you, I promise you. The dog and the hog on the street is beating you. The pig is beating you. They can have S3X whenever they want. You might as well have taken birth in that type of body. And we could see some people have that type of body, right? You could see it in their bodies. We could see, look how fat we're becoming. Look how obese we're becoming. That's a symbol of how much we are feeding into this gluttony, how much we're feeding in to this false ego. So whether it's the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Buddhist Sutras, they all point to this one absolute truth. The human body is a staircase to heaven or to God. So how do you break free from all of this trap, this matrix, break free from your mortal mind and body and release your energy so that it reaches the top of your head and you can experience the full potential of who you are? Well, first, you must desire to want to experience a higher desire of life, meaning you have to have a desire to say, I want more from life than just this. and become aware of your own selfish and lusty behaviors. You have to put a mirror up in your face and face yourself. And oftentimes, like I know for myself, there's parts of my character that I don't like. There's things that I wish I didn't do. There's regrets that I have. You have to face that. If you don't face that, if you're not willing to face it, you're simply going to keep with the same behaviors. You're going to continue to fall back into the same behaviors. Then you must raise your energy, which sits at the bottom of your spine, to the top, which, by the way, there's 33 steps in your spine, or 33 vertebrae of the spine. Jesus Christ died at 33. The highest level of Freemasonry is 33 degrees. This number is not accidental. See, all of these stories and allegories and mythologies, whether you believe them to be real or not, the secrets contained within them are real. This is the secrets of semen retention and alchemy. They're hidden within the very messages of all of these great traditions. That's why at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which tradition you choose. Pick a path, stick to it, and see it all the way. Now, what's interesting is that Jesus died at 33 on the cross. The cross symbolizes the flesh. He killed his false ego. He died and ascended into heaven. But also remember that Jesus said that the kingdom of God, or heaven, is within you. So his ascension wasn't external, but internal. His ascension wasn't material, but spiritual, which means his ascension to heaven was a path that we can all take, because you have a spine. You have a human form of life. I know that because you're listening to this video. So you can take this, and this is the purpose of human life. Jesus became in union with God, or yoga. The word yoga means union, not a bunch of stretching poses in Lululemon. It means yoga. It means union with Christ, or Krishna, who is his heavenly Father. Jesus said, I and my Father are one. I am the Alpha and Omega. I am masculine and feminine. I am everything. And I am connected to my Father. So how do you walk this staircase of the human life and realize Christ or Krishna for yourself? You must walk the path of Jesus, or Buddha, or Krishna, or Moses, or Muhammad. You must become devoted to a certain path and become devotional to God. There is no other way. From material to spiritual, from lust to love, from selfish to selfless. The reality is this path is not easy. Jesus said the path is narrow. And personally, I've always wondered, why did he say the path is narrow? Because I've always said, you can go anyway. It's all good, right? That's kind of the new agey thing. It's all good. Everything is good. Everything is fine. Eat what you want. Sleep with whoever you want. Say whatever you want. It's all good. YOLO, you only live once. All this kind of attitude. That's why Jesus said the path is narrow, because actually you have to walk a fine line to keep yourself safe from this material temptation in this world. I only started to realize this when I attempted to walk the path myself and realized, oh my gosh, look how full of lust and greed and all of this stuff that I desire. Why? Because deeper I just feel empty inside, and I'm trying to fill that emptiness. I remember one of my Christian friends said to me in his church, they would say, there's a hole in your heart and it's meant for God. Only God could fulfill that void that you feel. No amount of S3X, no amount of adult films, no amount of drugs, no amount of alcohol, no amount of fame, no amount of fortune will ever fill that. It is left empty on purpose so that you can reconnect with it and fill it with God consciousness, Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness. The path is narrow because you must be willing to give up the lower pleasures. That's what I realized. That's why I started practicing semen retention, stopped watching adult films, took on the battle of giving up my weed addiction. And every day I fight that battle just like you, because every day, as long as you're on planet Earth, you're going to be tempted and you're going to have to fight that battle. So you got to equip yourself like a warrior ready for battle. See, you're more than an animal. jerking off and weed and overeating and gossiping and chasing pleasure and fame and fortune, it all must be given up. If fame and fortune come to you naturally, great. If something comes to you naturally by the grace of God, great. Take it, accept it, and use it for the benefit of others. But recognize it is not your job to chase it. You are more than a dog or a cat or a hog, I assume. Are you not more than an animal? Ask yourself that question seriously. Is that what I am? Is that all my life is about? One pleasure to the next? Sleep, eat, mate, gossip, get some cheap, superficial pleasure, and then do it again the next day? No. Not only must you conquer your lower and selfish nature to realize the true secrets of semen retention or spiritual life, you must actually practice an attraction of luring or raising that energy up the spine. This is where semen retention is going to come into place as part of the spiritual path. See, semen retention is part of a bigger path. That's what many guys in the nofap and semen retention movement, they're not talking about. Yeah, I can attract women. Yeah, I can, manifest money. Yes, because your consciousness is raising, so it is higher. Your spirit, you are higher than the material nature. But if you act only in the material nature by its laws will conquer you. So as you practice semen retention, and that energy builds within you at the bottom in your S3X organs, that energy has to go somewhere. And since you're not ejaculating, it's going to be pushed up the spine. And this is where the practices of alchemy come in to open up your energy channels. As you practice retention and cultivate that energy has to go somewhere. And that energy is going to start to flow up your spine, starting to release or walk the staircase of your spine, the 33 vertebrae or 33 degrees of Freemasonry or 33 degrees of Jesus's life, 33 years of Jesus's life. This is, by the way, when you're going to be attacked the most. As you attempt to raise your consciousness and know your divinity and know God, the enemy or the tempter will be there to fight you. And this is the spiritual war that you're going to face. You see, it's called the devil in Christianity. It's called Mara in Buddhism, Maya in yoga or Hinduism. This opposite force will tempt you to stay in your lower nature. But look at all of the stories of the most enlightened beings on the planet. They have all conquered this serpent, or they have all conquered their lower nature. Krishna is depicted as dancing on the top of the seven-headed serpent, conquering the lower natures. The Buddha sits under a seven-headed Naga serpent. Eve was tempted by the serpent, and the serpent was wrapped around Moses' staff. This symbology is there. It's there today, right in front of you. We see it almost every day, and people don't realize it. It's the medical symbol that we use in today's medical world, which I think is a joke, by the way, that they're using that as the medical symbol of the world. It's like a slap in the face to God. See, what's interesting, if you look at the medical symbol of today, you'll see two serpents wrapped around a staff with them meeting at the middle, at the top, and then wings spreading open. The staff is the spine. Moses' staff was the spine. The fire that he saw was the fire of divinity, who he had to move out of the cave, his lower nature, and free his people, free them from slavery, the bondage of material nature, the bondage of their greed and their lust and all of these things that were plaguing the people. The two serpents is masculine and feminine moving up the spine. And the wings spreading open symbolizes the awakening, or the pineal gland, the awakening of your third eye, and ultimately the freeing of your soul and life force. Lord Shiva is often depicted as half man and woman, symbolizing the union between masculine and feminine, making him closest to Krishna or Christ or God. As you retain your semen, your sexual energy rises in your body, uncoiling the serpent, making the journey upwards to your pineal gland. This is why men who practice semen retention experience optimal health, vitality, and increased in spiritual awareness. It's an absolute joke that the modern medical establishment uses this symbol as they are the exact opposite of spiritual. In my opinion, most pills that people are popping, most big pharma solutions are actually lowering human consciousness and making them more dependent on the products of big pharma. It's a money-making machine and has nothing to do with health. Jesus knew all health problems have their root in sinful life. That's why when he healed someone, he said, "Now sin no more." He didn't write a prescription and say, "Now take this pill for the rest of your life." That wasn't his prescription. His prescription was, "Now sin no more," meaning clean up your act, get your shit together, and start to walk the saintly path. As you clean up your act, no drugs, no alcohol, no longer eating for pleasure, overindulging, being truthful, stop exploiting people for your own pleasure, and take to a serious spiritual practice, your body and mind become purified and you become at peace. And peace is the foundation for real power. Power within yourself. Most people in today's world are living a sinful life or a life outside of harmony with nature, which is destroying their energy and consciousness, making them easily manipulated, easy to exploit. And our leaders, so-called leaders, are doing this on purpose. Look at the 7 deadly sins and then look at the world and look at your own life. Take evaluation. Pride. Are you prideful? I know I've been full of that. Greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. Now take a check-in. How much of that is ruling you? Be honest. Because it's honesty that will set you free. It's like, oh crap, I'm ruled by these things. We all are, and that's why we're here. That's why we've taken birth. See, the universe has given you the ultimate opportunity in the human form of life to actually move beyond the lower nature and experience the higher spiritual nature of life, the eternal divine nature of who you are. People wonder, why am I unhappy? Why am I broke? Why am I full of misery? Why is my mind disturbed? Why aren't my relationships working? Well, I could tell you, because it's not a secret. It's not a, oh my gosh, I need to figure this out. This has already been figured out time and time again in every tradition. It's just, are you willing to listen? Are you willing to hear the message? And the message is simple. These are symptoms of sinful life. These are symptoms of being out of alignment with your true nature. They're wake-up calls. They're not there to punish you. They're there to wake you up. But will you wake up? Will you listen? And I know from personal experience, it's tough because you're going to fight yourself. Nah, but I still want to indulge in that. I still want to do that. I still want to experience that. I still want to do this. Why? You know it only leads to misery and destruction. The material or physical nature is a reflection of the spiritual or higher nature. It's like a mirror. So if you want something in your outside world to change, you want a better relationship, you want better health, you want better finances, then you have to clean up your internal world. You have to do the internal work, which is what the spiritual path is all about. The external reflects the internal. As above, so below. As within, so without. All of these teachings are there, giving you the secrets to life. Chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility are the 7 capital virtues to develop to counteract these sins and to release your life force. Again, this is why so many men, including myself, have relapsed or failed on semen retention many times. It's because you try to indulge in sinful life while trying to practice semen retention. You miss the point of semen retention. The point is not for you to go and get laid. The point is not for you to go and take that energy and then exploit material nature more. The point is to be used for a higher purpose, which is to attain salvation or the kingdom of God, which is within you. This is why so many men are failing on NoFap, because they're not being told the whole message or they're not willing to listen. It is nearly impossible to practice semen retention or alchemy and still live a sinful life or a life out of an alignment with harmony. There's no chance of you raising your energy to the top of your crown and actually experiencing a real direct experience of God. Remember that the human form of life is a staircase to heaven, and unless you walk this path, you will be doomed for a life of struggle, conflict, betrayal, and misery, and you'll take birth again in either a human life or possibly a lower form of life, and who knows how long you're going to have to suffer because of that. The human form of life is the loophole or the crossroads between the lower and the higher elements of nature. It is your job to walk that path, to travel up the 33 degrees, and S3X Mastery is your ticket out. The process I teach in my training courses and techniques are practices not that I made up myself, but that I've learned from great gurus and teachers and mystics and yogis that I've been able to come in contact with. These practices have been used for thousands of years by sages and mystics and saints to reach Krishna or Christ or Allah, God. And you can do it too. You have that power within you. But it's not easy, but it is worth it. It is your duty to actually walk this path. As Jesus said, the path is narrow, but if you're serious about walking this path, you must take to some spiritual training. If you want to become a great mechanic, you must take to the training of a mechanic. If you want to become a great lawyer or a doctor or an artist or a musician, you must take to some teacher who's going to teach you the secrets and the techniques and the nuances that are going to give you that extra edge and see yourself to unleashing those talents. Well, similarly, no different for spiritual life. You must take to a teacher. You must take to a guru. So whether it's, whether you resonate with me and the way that I present the information, or you resonate with somebody else, or a certain path, I don't personally care. If you resonate with me, great. If you resonate with someone else, great. Just take the path. Jesus took to a guru. He was baptized by John. Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, took initiation from a spiritual master. The Buddha studied for 11 years with mystics and yogis to reach enlightenment. Why do you think you don't have to do the work? Why do you think you can just attain it? And I know why you think that, because you think that about everything, because so do I, because you're trained for instant gratification and you take the same consciousness to spiritual life. Oh, I did a prayer. I went to church, I gave to the donation box. I read the book once, half the book once, half the verse once, right? You do minimal work, but expect the greatest. People, they have that same expectation in life. I see guys coming through sometimes my training programs or programs that I've been involved with, where they're like, they do half the work and they're like, how come I didn't get the results? Well, did you do the work? You want to be a millionaire. Do you do what millionaires do? Do you get up early? Do you go to bed late? Do you put in the work? Or do you dilly-dally about your day? See, whether it's material or spiritual, anything worth attaining is going to take hard work. That's the nature of reality. So the only question is, are you ready to do the work? If you're ready to do the work and unleash your power, feel peace, presence, and an inner knowingness, an inner connection with God like you've never done before, while building an awesome business or career, while having a great relationship, you don't have to give those up. You have to inject God into those, consciousness and spirit into those for it to flourish. So if you're ready to experience peace, power, prosperity, and love like never before, make sure you reach out and connect with me. In the link below, there's a free guide where you can take to learn more about the process of S3X transmutation. I share with you some techniques and a routine that you can use right away. And if you're really serious, get on my schedule, book some time with me or a member of my team, and we'll show you the different trainings and the different things programs that we've got going on, so you can decide where you're at and take those next steps. Action is required for growth. There's no getting around that. So if you're ready to take action, take the next step, book a call with me, or take the free S3X Transmutation Guide. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you never miss a video. Just by plugging into these videos and hearing these concepts and this information over and over and over again, it's going to be lodged in your consciousness and will start to manifest itself in your life. I pray for you, I hope the best for you, and I know that God is going to bless you in many ways and He will help you as you help yourself. But you must help yourself. Knock and the door shall be open to you, meaning you have to knock, you have to desire it. I'll see you in the next video.